I wasted years thinking I was wrong, I was broken, I didn't fit. She went into surgery and the babies came out one at a time and she never did. Life is short. It's so short. You haven't got a minute to waste. I want my children to know this. So I was like, I need to travel with them. I'm going to run out of time. Hang on, these guys are living in vans and making these YouTube videos and surviving. Why can't I do that? That was it. Once I was focused, nothing was going to stop me. Get out of that system. Do it now. None of that you were taught matters.
This is the Van Life Network podcast. Real conversations with van lifers building meaningful lives on the road. Not just about where we park, but about who we are becoming. I'm Renz, and this is our digital campfire.
Today's guest is an adventurous single dad and YouTuber raising 2 teenage kids on the road. But his story starts way before van life, in Thailand, building a completely different life. Until one day, overnight, everything changed. Adrian, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, first of all, what was life like before van life?
Before van life, well, I lived in Thailand, as you were just saying, and I was actually out there for 14 years.
Wow.
Prior to that, I'd lived in the UK. It's where I was born and raised, and I just knew something didn't quite fit, or I didn't quite fit society, and I felt uncomfortable, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. And then one day, a friend of mine that I'd not known very long showed me a map of Nepal. And I'm like, what's this all about? And he said, I'm going trekking. I'm going to walk through the mountains of Nepal. And I was like, wow, what really, people do this? I'd led such an indoctrinated life, I suppose, going through school and on what you meant to do. I was told I was stupid because I didn't do well at school. So I have to work in factories or as a builder as I was working. And I thought, wow, so you can do something completely different. And very quickly, in no time at all, I got in touch with him. I said, hey, I'm coming with you. I'm selling up everything I've got. I want to come as well. So me, him, and another guy set off, flew out to Mumbai, and we basically traveled across India, all through up in Nepal in the mountains, and then flew across to Thailand, where my girlfriend at the time came to meet us.
Amazing.
And then we made our way down to the islands, a very specific island, Koh Tao, which is quite well known. It's got a reputation for the scuba diving. And we landed there back in 2001.
Okay.
And my friends all wanted to learn how to scuba dive. I was very, very short of money at the time because we've been traveling for a while and I'd gone quite ill prepared out into the world. And I was like, it's okay. I don't need to scuba dive. I'll be fine. I can snorkel and swim about and just sit and have a few beers. But they persuaded me, and there was like, they'd help me a little bit financially, lend me a bit of money. And we did the course. We did the scuba diving course.
The PADI.
The PADI, the PADI open water course. And very quickly, Big Frank, who was our instructor, was such a great salesman, he persuaded us to do the next course, the advanced course. And on that course, where we were out on the boats, we got chatting to guys who were training to do their dive master course, which is the first professional step on the ladder in the dive system. And we were chatting to these guys, and they were like, yeah, we've been here for months, man, and we're just loving life. They go diving every day. They're just laid back on the boat there, eating pineapple and chilling. And me and my girlfriend were like, this is interesting. What a nice way to live. So we continued our journey a little bit through Thailand, and then turned around and went back and said, we're doing our dive master. We're going to stay. We're going to live here, and we're going to become professional divers. And that's where we got stuck, and we never left, really, and got stuck on Koh Tao.
Wow. And that was in 2001, you say? 2001 you came there? You arrived?
2001 I arrived there, yeah.
Now, if you're living van life or dreaming about it, and you've ever felt like you're doing it alone, this is for you. It's called the Van Life Network. It's a private community full of real van lifers from all over the world actually connecting. No algorithms, no ads, no fake social media stuff, just real conversations, real friendships, and people you actually meet on the road. There are weekly calls, a live map to find people near you, and meetups happening all the time. So instead of just chasing the next spot, you start building real friendships along the way. It's completely free to join at skool.com/vanlife. School spelled with a K. Links in the description or scan the QR on screen and we'll see you there.
And then you got your PADI, you got your open water, then you got the advanced course as well. What happened after?
After we were doing our dive master training for months, I mean, you can theoretically take as long as you want over doing the course. Some people took the absolute mickey and were doing it for years, and they get told by the dive shop, all right, come on, you got to finish this now. But we did it for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. Yeah. And along the way there, we got really friendly with the team who did video for the dive shop, and they would film the tourists underwater and then sell them videos every day.
Wow.
And we were like, hey, look at that as well. So we actually got into doing that, both myself and my girlfriend. Yeah. And we did take a trip eventually back to the UK to sell up everything we had, our old beautiful Volkswagen Classic camper van.
Wow.
And bought a camera, an underwater rig, and went back to Thailand and started working as underwater camera people. And the years just kept on trucking on the island life. Wow. Absolutely superb. Perfect. It was wonderful. Until eventually one day we parted ways, my girlfriend and I. We'd been together a long time, and we still remain very good friends now. She just wanted to come back to what some might call the real world, back to her family, to be close to her parents, and she wanted to start a family of her own. I wasn't ready, and I just wanted to continue this life that we'd built out there. Yeah. So we went separate ways. She left and I stayed, and I formed a company with a business partner, and we actually started an underwater camera school, because we realized there was lots of other people who were interested in doing what we did. And so we wrote a course. So not only PADI, there's BSAC out there, there's various diving bodies, BSAC, SSI, PADI. We wrote the underwater video course for BSAC.
Wow.
And then we started training it and teaching it. And we ended up with 2 separate classes, 2 offices at opposite ends of the island, multiple trainers and people teaching people how to do this. And it was a great life, you know?
And you were running that business?
Yes. Wow. Yes. Me and my business partner. Yeah. She's still doing it out there now.
She's still doing it.
She bought me out when I left, and she's still running the company. Yeah. And doing it.
And so do dive schools, did they hire you, or like you were part of the crew of the dive schools, or how did it work?
You kind of become like a part of the crew. Yeah. What we did was we had a whole number of staff working in the different dive shops. So what you'd have to do is proposition the dive shops and try and get a contract, because there was a few video companies on the island, and everyone was fighting for position, of course, because it was a little bit cutthroat out there, because everyone wanted to exist on this island and never leave. So you got to make money. So we were trying to make the best offer we can to get the contract with the dive shops. Once you get a contract, then we agree, right, one of our staff members will be here every day to film your people. And what we try and do is keep the same staff member in that dive shop, and they become part of that dive shop.
Makes sense.
They work for us. They set off from our office every day, go to the dive shop, but they're best friends with all the instructors and dive masters, and they're part of that shop. But then they come back to our office to edit the videos in the afternoon. And it was the same when I was working in the dive shops. You become part of that team, even though you're independent of it. And it was a wonderful way to live. Wow. It was so nice. You know, you get up in the morning and you head off down to the dive shop on my big old dirt bike. You've got a nice big scrambler bike. You've got your dive gear on your back.
Of course.
You've got your camera in a bag on the front, and you're just down in the sunshine, no helmet, as unsafe as that may be. It's Thailand, hey? Palm trees flying past. Get to the dive shop, meet the people, film them a bit, go out on the dive boats. And because of where we were, there was different seasons for different things, but I've dived with more whale sharks than I can remember.
Wow.
And I filmed them all, these big 8-meter fish, you know, and bull sharks. There was a season for a few years where there was a family, or whatever you call it, a shoal, a school of bull sharks that hung around this one dive site for quite a long time. And we used to film those guys. They're big, mean looking things, but they're just big puppy dogs. They're not interested in you. They might come and have a sniff sometimes, but they're more scared and they swim away.
What a life, man.
It was amazing, man. That's why I stayed there. That's why I didn't come back and start a family with my girlfriend. But then as life sort of throws things at you that you're not expecting, one day me and my business partner were in the office, and because she's Belgian, my business partner, and speaks multiple languages, and I'm English, so of course, what do I speak? English. She said, we've got a French girl coming in today who's interested in doing the course, so I'll speak to her. And sure enough, in came this little French lady, very, very smiley, very, very happy, pretty French lady, and started talking to my business partner. And instantly I could just see a twinkle in her face and in her eye. And I was just, I like you. I like you a lot. And as soon as she had the meeting with my business partner and left, my business partner turned to me. She knew me very well. She saw my face and just went, "What?" And she went, no, that's a student. And I was just like, Within a couple of months, me and her were together. That's Delphine, who is my kid's mum.
Yeah.
Within a few months, we were together. Within a few more months, we were living together. And then before you know it, we'd bought land together.
Wow.
And we were building a house, and we actually started planning to have a family. This is as the years progressed. We were together for 2 years entirely.
Yeah.
But we bought the land, the hillside. It was fantastic. Built a bungalow. One day, as we were up there looking at the building works going on, she whispered in my ear, "I think we're going to need a bigger house." And I was like, aha, there we go then. So you're pregnant. And yeah. And the world kind of changed a little bit from there on. Had to start thinking about things a bit differently. We were in the process of also building another office for the business on our land.
Wow.
And it was almost up and running at this time. But we were just expanding everywhere. Life was good. And we bought land. We had a house. We had offices. We got loads of staff. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. But the world decided to throw me a curveball. And she was getting scanned over on the mainland. And that's when we found out it was twins, which I kind of suspected that was coming. For something in the back of my mind, I don't know what it was. I was just thinking, yeah, I don't know why, but I think we've got twins coming. And I was right. And it was a shock, to say the least. So I had to start preparing for that. And then a few more months went by, and she just started to not feel something was not quite right with the pregnancy. So I made arrangements with my business partner to just take the reins of the business. You just be all right. I'm going to take her up to Bangkok, and we're going to go and check her into a hospital and see what's going on. So we did. Me and Delphine head up to Bangkok into a hospital where they checked her out, listened for the babies and all that, scans, etc. And the doctor basically said, nah, things are not right. You're staying in the hospital until these babies are born. So, okay, fair enough. She's in a safe place. That's fine. I went off into Bangkok, where I've got friends, and friends put me onto friends and helped me get an apartment. So I rented an apartment in Bangkok, which was going to be our place to start raising the children before we move back down to the island and continue our life. But one night when I was in the hospital visiting her, something wasn't right, and she couldn't hear or feel the babies, couldn't feel the babies moving. And she mentioned it. So I called the doctor in, and he checked with his stethoscope. He was checking her belly, and he's like, no, this is not good. They need to come out now. They'd been holding them in with various drugs and whatever it was they had to do, because the babies would have come out premature and not survived, and they needed to come out. So they were injecting them with steroids to help their lungs grow and help them develop quickly, because they knew they were coming out early. But this particular night, he said, no, they're stopping breathing. They're going to die. We need to get them out now. Wow. So she was raced off to surgery. And sadly, that was the last I ever saw of her. She went into surgery, and the babies came out one at a time, and she never did. Wow. She fell asleep during and after the surgery, but just never came back. Wow. Her heart gave out, just like her body. She was a really diddy little person, really, really small, which is why my daughter Ella is so tiny. She takes after her. And to have these twins growing inside, the way I like to think of it is her body just gave everything it had to keep these babies alive. Wow. And obviously my world changed drastically from there. Yeah. I mean, it's a very, very long story, but I stayed in Thailand. My family came to help me. I moved back to the island eventually after a trip to the UK and France. Moved back to the island where I got Filipino nannies who moved in with me. I had a really big place that I was renting to live with multiple bedrooms. Very, very nice. I had a jacuzzi on the roof and everything. Beautiful place, man. I loved it. And I had these nannies who lived in, so I could go back to work, and they continued. But somewhere along the way, the decision was made to move back to Europe, because Ella needed a minor amount of medical attention, not too much. And it was getting close to schooling age. Yeah. And the island's a tiny little tropical island, and there's no hospital. Back then, there was no hospital. Yeah. There was no Western school. There was no facilities. And I wasn't able to home educate on my own. Yeah. So the decision was made to come back to Europe. I actually moved to Malta for a year back before Brexit, and it was possible for me to do that and lived there. But then my dad was getting bad with cancer.
Yeah.
So a decision was made to move back to the UK, a place I never, ever thought I would live again. I really never, ever thought I would go back to that country. And I ended up staying there for 9 years.
For 9 years. Well, and how old were the kids back then?
They were 4 when we went, 4 when I got back to the UK.
Okay. So to do like a few steps back, they have been raised in Thailand by you and the nannies. How did it look like? Like what was life like back then?
It was, if I'm honest, I was in a strange place because I'd obviously lost their mum.
Yeah.
And I went back to work, and to be perfectly honest, because of the way the environment was out there, we worked and lived in the tourist industry, and tourists don't rest. So it's a very big drinking island, and I used to drink a lot.
Party, yeah.
Yeah, party island, but I used to drink a lot, but to the point of, you can call it alcoholism, but I'm not out partying. It's not party. You just drink. You finish work and you just start putting beers back.
Yeah.
You don't get drunk. You've drank so much now, your tolerance levels, you just continue, but you just drink and drink. So I would stay out and I'd drink with friends, and then I'd go home knowing the nannies were taking care of the babies. And I feel quite bad now in my later life about that time. But as people say, I shouldn't punish myself because I was in a world of pain and turmoil and not really knowing what was going on. I was just this guy with 2 little kids, babies I didn't know what to do with.
Of course.
And I did actually fall in with one of my members of staff, a girl who worked for me, and we got together because she really liked to drink. I liked to drink. We'd stay out drinking, and it was quite a toxic sort of relationship. I fell into it by accident, and it did actually go on for a few years. And she was part of the reasoning to move back to Europe, and it was the breakup with her that ended up with us going back to the UK. Was for me to separate from that.
She was from Europe?
She was British as well.
British.
Yeah. It was good at the beginning. We had loads and loads of fun.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of blown away that someone would take me on. I felt like I was damaged goods, I'm just this, how old was I back then? I'd have been, late 30s, and I've got 2 children on my own. And I just thought, well, who's going to want me, And it turns out she did. And I slipped into that. And it was, if I'm honest with myself now, it was very toxic from the onset. She a little bit unbalanced in some ways. It's not her fault.
No.
She'd been through trauma in her life, and I feel sorry for her for that. But it got to the point where I was like, I can't have this around my children. I just can't have this. So it was a lot of years of up and down and turmoil and time spent together again in the UK. And eventually I managed to detach myself from that situation and start a whole new life as me, just single dad, no nannies, no girlfriend, just me and those 2. We got a new house that I rented. And I already started up a business, going back into what I used to do with building work. And I got myself trained up with joinery, with plumbing. And I started fitting kitchens and bathrooms for people. The kids went to a little village school that was really nice. And the business grew. We were comfortable. I was making money. And we had a really pleasant existence for many years. Yeah, I really quite enjoyed that life for a while. But then my mind started reverting back to when I was younger, about the fact that I don't really fit in this society, in this world. Something's not right. And I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Something's not right. And I didn't realize that when I'd gone away to Thailand, it had repaired that in me. And it made me realize that I'm able to achieve anything in this world. And I can do anything and be anything. And the world is not what's presented to us. And people are indoctrinated and trained through school and by their parents. It's not necessarily their parents' fault, but they were indoctrinated before them to go through the system and do the things you're meant to do, have the babies, buy the house, do the job, retire, And it was starting to creep up on me. I'm working in a job that I enjoyed building the business, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do in my life. And let's be honest, the UK, the weather sucks. It's awful.
Yeah.
I've come from the tropics, 14 years in the tropics,
Yeah.
to rainy, grey England. And you just realize that a lot of the people around you, they're very affected by that.
Of course.
The weather. I mean, the British sense of humour is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
We've got a very, very good sense of humour that you just get on with it. And I love that about the Brits. I really do. But the country itself just doesn't work for me. It's got beautiful parts.
Yeah.
Where I'm from in the north, my sister lives on a farm up there. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful, rolling green hills and forests and sheep and the chickens and the cows. It's beautiful. But it's a handful of days out of the year.
Exactly.
The rest of the time, it's gale force winds and sleet in your face, big jackets and hats and gloves, and it just doesn't work for me. I need to live like this.
Yeah.
Like most of my days are like this, where you look out the window and if it's raining, it's like, oh wow, wasn't expecting that. It's a surprise. England's the opposite. It's the complete reverse. You look out the window and go, wow, it's sunny. Oh my God, what's going on? So you just feel compelled to get out and do something, and then the rain's in the afternoon, so you're back in again. And it affected my work, it affected my mood, and it just wasn't the person I wanted to be. And the more I learned about the state of affairs with the world, and without going down too many rabbit holes here, I went down a lot of rabbit holes and did an awful lot of research into things, especially around the time of a certain, shall we say, medical intervention and a certain disease that they decided had happened to the world. And I just figured something's not right here. Something's really off about this. So I started going down many rabbit holes and researching, and I eventually came out the other side and went, that's what the world's doing. That's what's going on. These people at the top have done this on purpose. They've orchestrated everything. The society we live in, this go to school, go to work, that was their idea.
It's all planned.
Because they don't live like that. They live the high life. And we're all slaves. We're all the sheep. We're the cattle.
If you play along.
If you play along.
Yeah.
And it just made me even more reluctant to be there. And I'm like, I've got to get out.
Yeah.
And I knew how much traveling had changed my life and made me the person who I was, and I'm happy with me. I like me. And I'm like, the kids need that. They don't need school. They don't need indoctrination and going down that path where we were all sent. I wasted years thinking I was wrong, I was broken, I didn't fit.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out on my own out in Thailand that I can accomplish anything and I can be anything on this planet, in this world that I want to be. I can be anything.
Yeah.
And I want them to know this. I want my children to know this. So I was like, I need to travel with them.
Perfect.
They were getting older. They were getting close to being teenagers. And I'm like, I'm going to run out of time. I've got a handful of years left before they will up and leave and go and do their own lives. I need to travel with them now. I need to do it. And I was watching a lot of YouTube at the time. I was watching sailing channels because I like the idea of living on a sailboat and fully circumnavigating for the rest of my life. With the kids would be amazing. But the expense of doing that was just a little bit out of reach, it felt like. And plus my daughter Ella's not very keen on the idea of living on the ocean. And then I started watching van life channels.
Yeah.
I found that there's a lot of people living in vans all over the place, in the sunshine, having a relaxed life. And then I put two and two together and thought, hang on, these guys are living in vans and making these YouTube videos and surviving. Hang on a minute here. I've got a background in video and editing. Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
Why can't I do that? And so I started my thought process, which turned into nothing's going to stop me and I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah.
So while I was still running the business and renovating houses for people, I started filming YouTube. And I converted our old van, my little work van, into a sort of makeshift camper van.
Yeah.
And we went off across France to visit the kid's grandma who lives out there, and off to Croatia and Montenegro to visit my friends who live on a sailboat out there, so we could get a little taster of that as well. And that convinced me that we could do it full time. And I filmed the whole thing for YouTube to try and get some traction and start building this YouTube thing. So when we got back from that trip, I went hell for leather on business to try and get enough money together to buy a bigger van that we could, three of us, live in permanently. And that was it. Once I was focused, nothing was going to stop me.
Perfect.
And so I filmed the hunt for the van. I filmed the building of the van, the buying of the van. The van, I firmly believe I manifested this because I was so fixated on nothing was going to stop this. And at the right time, when I was trying to find the money to buy a van, a good van, my friend in Thailand called me up and he offered to buy a small piece of land that we had left out there that had belonged to me and their mum. So he transferred the money, exactly the right amount I needed to buy that.
Yeah, it's wild.
It just snowballed one after another. These things kept happening. When I needed to get my electrical equipment for the back of the van, it was far more expensive than I thought it would be. Suddenly, I got rebated something from the bank to do with a scam that I was involved in many years ago. Not me personally, I wasn't scamming. Someone else scammed me. And I lost quite a few thousand. It was years ago. And I'd more or less forgotten about the complaints I'd put in. It just came when I needed it, and I bought my electrical equipment and got it all set up. And I was working my business and doing a YouTube channel, renovating a van, converting a van, all at the same time until the day came to just stop my business, my last job, my last clients, and I ended. And I spent the next 3 months finishing that van as quickly as possible so I could stop paying rent in the house I was in and move into it.
Perfect.
And that was it. And then we did it.
And now you're here.
And then we did it and we hit the road. And that was like 1 year and 3 months ago or something like that.
That's crazy.
And it's just been a wild ride ever since. And it was the best decision I could ever have made.
So this all happened back in the UK. You set up another business.
Yep.
That was your, like, a business, like, kind of using your old trades. You mentioned plumbing and everything.
Yep.
You set it up, made it successful.
Yep.
And then you went down the rabbit hole. You found out things that you have to find out them at some point, I think, in life, honestly, to live a freer life, let's say. And then you had your first minivan. You did trips with it. Little trips. Just little holidays into Europe. And then you decided that was too small, and then you got this van.
Yeah.
Okay. When was the time that you actually went full-time in this van? Because, like, in our earlier chat yesterday, you mentioned something like, okay, this was the right time for us to actually make the choice and actually leave. Like, what happened before then?
Well, leading up to that, because I'd already what we call woken up to the system and the society, I very quickly made the move to get my kids out of school. Before they went to secondary school, I didn't want them to go through that secondary school sort of process of having to, I don't know, it's hard to put your finger on. And there's good kids out there. There are many good kids out there. But I find that secondary school, when they start getting into these cliquey little groups, now I've home educated them and been away from it, I can see the difference between home educated children and kids in the mainstream education. And it's no fault of these kids. They can be lovely kids, some of them. But a lot of the time, they're forced into these peer groups where they're all the same age. They don't communicate with kids below them. They don't communicate with teachers and adults because they're like the enemy. The teachers are the enemy, and therefore the adults are the enemy. And it's just not the way it's meant to be. And I found since pulling them out of school, they communicate with everyone. They know how to, because you hang out with home education families. And John will chat with the adults. He'll play with the 3-year-old kids. And it's just having that ability to do that makes them a very, very different human. And they don't have any of that attitude. They're teenagers. They're 15 years old. I don't get a crossword from either of them. There's none of this typical, as they say, teenage behavior, which is all, that's all hormones. It's just normal for teenagers. It's not. They're kind of meant to be that way. They're purposefully segregated and meant to feel isolated, I think, and separate from the parents. And it doesn't work like that. We live in a tiny little van, 3 of us, and we have no problem. Everyone basically respects each other's space and each other's opinion. And there might be a little niggle in between John and Ella sometimes, but it's resolved in seconds. It's very hard to put your finger on what the differences are, but I can see it. And I wanted my kids out of that. And it was once they were out of that and they were home educating and I was still working. By this point, both my father and my mother had passed away from cancer. Also, my little sister, my youngest sister, I do have another brother and a sister. both younger than me, but my littlest sister, at the age of 35, we lost her to leukemia.
Wow.
And it just brought it all back up in my mind again about the kid's mum.
Yeah.
And life is short. It's so short. And learning what I'd learned about the world and how society was not for me and this idea didn't work for me, and life is short, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I want to travel with my kids. I want them to see the world. I want them to learn how to be wild, be free, and teach them they can be anything they want to be.
Love it.
It's got nothing to do with school and exams and systems. They can do anything.
Yeah.
They can start any business they want. If they suddenly decide they want to be an accountant, which I really don't think is going to happen, if one of them decides they want to be an accountant, then we look at what university course they need, what exams they need to get into that. They can go and have private tuition, get the exams and do it.
Yeah.
If they're not interested in doing that,
Fine.
then they're not wasting years of studying things that they don't need to study and being trained to be a slave, basically.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I feel like I was trying to find a better word, but it's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's what you're trained to be in these. The almighty, rich and powerful people don't go through the same school system as us. They're trained how to control the people in the mainstream schools.
Yeah.
And it just made me, I just got to get away.
Yeah.
I've got to do it. I've got to get away. And another element of why we're here in Europe is the kid's grandma. Their mum's mum. She is now an 84-year-old lady who is very much on her own. She has family in northern France, but she lives further south. She's very, very isolated, very much on her own. She's lost her husband many, many years ago. Wow. She's now lost her only daughter. Her only family is these two kids.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put them on an airplane and take them off to Southeast Asia where I'd like to be. This is another reason we live in a van around Europe, is to be close to her. And we're heading there in a week from now. We'll be back with her again. We'll stay for a few weeks, make sure she's okay, hang out for a bit, and then we can go off in a different direction, maybe Italy, Croatia, and then we'll come back again and visit her.
Yeah.
And if she ever needs us, it's just one phone call, and I can do a day's driving, a day and a night if I have to, and I'll be back with her.
Love it.
And we can look after her.
Yeah.
I just feel it's important. It's something we need to do.
Yeah.
It can't leave her on her own. So that's why we're traveling in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now.
Wow. That's quite a bit of a story, to be honest. Wow, that's wild.
It's quite epic. My mum always said I should write a book one day, and I do plan to.
You do plan to?
I do plan to.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But it's somewhere on my list of many, many millions of things that I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
First comes the course. I'm going to be writing a course soon.
Very cool.
That's next on the list.
Okay, and so what does van life mean to the kids? Like, how do they go on with it, and do they miss anything?
I think they're so different. Even though they're twins, they could not be any different, any more different, I should say, sorry. Polar opposites. So we've got John here, who just climbed into the van. He's just been out there in the sea. He's a wild child. You'll see by the size of him, he's taller than me. He was taller than me when he was 14. And he's just built to be physical and wild. He's got this big surfer hair. And when we went to Morocco last year, he was surfing all day, every day with friends out there. And back in the UK, he would sit at a computer and game, you know? And you could see it was not the worst thing in the world. There's nothing wrong with gaming a bit in moderation. But it's all he wanted to do, because we were home educating. So everyone else was at school, or any of his friends from the home education groups, they live too further away. So it wasn't someone down the road who he can hang out with. So he'd just game a lot. He'd game too much for my liking. And you could see it in him physically. And now he looks great. You can just tell how much benefit it's been to him mentally and physically. He's got his bleach blonde surfer hair now, and he's all tanned up. He's shaped as a young man should be shaped. He's fit, he's healthy, he's athletic, and he embraces the world. He just embraces everything and everyone in it. And he's just like, hi, speaks to anyone, loves the world. Everything's exciting. Can't wait to learn things and get enough of it. And right now, his big passion is cooking. He cooks for the family every single day. And so his skills in that area are just coming on leaps and bounds, leaps and bounds. He's getting there with his surfing. But otherwise, he's just a good all-round guy who will make it through this world, no problem. Ella, complete opposite, the sweetest girl you'll ever meet, so lovely. And in society, in schools, we were told that she was a few years behind. And it's like, well, behind what? You try speaking to her and you'll find that she's actually way beyond most teenagers. And she won't hang out with the kids. So when we've got a whole bunch of kids around, she sits in the van working because that's what she'd rather do. She's an artist and that's all she ever does. And she's working on book projects. So the moment she's working on a book with a friend of hers back home, he's initially done the writing. She's co-writing and editing, and then she's doing all the illustration works for it. She's just finished off another project, which she did with a lady in England. The lady wrote the book. Ella's illustrated it, 72 images.
Wow.
And that's going to be releasing on Amazon very soon.
Crazy.
So that's her first published book. And the kids come round, Ella, you're coming out to play, you're coming out to play. And she's just like an adult would be. Just say, I'm sorry, I'm busy working. And she's just on a completely different level to them, in a different world to them.
Yeah.
And she's more happy to stay in the van and do that. And just be solitude, peace and quiet. If kids or dogs come running towards the van, she's like, whoa, 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 enough with the noise and the busy. I want peace. I want my art pad, and I just want to work. And it just couldn't be any more different. She's an angel, and she's a comedian as well. She's very witty, very, very funny. But society would have made us believe that she was behind and she'll never succeed at anything. Yeah. She's at the age of 15, her first book's going to be published and the next one's on its way. And then she's got ideas to work on her own stories and her own books, you know? That wouldn't have happened at school. So
she's an artist and a writer?
She's going to be. She's definitely an artist. That's all all that comes out of her all the time. You just can't stop her. Yeah. Everywhere she goes, she leaves a trail of art. If she was sat here, there'd be pictures in the sand, you know? But she wants to do the writing as well. So that's something she's going to start learning and working on. And she educates herself.
Yeah,
some of the stuff I see her learning, I'm like, where did you get that information? She's like, I found it. And she knows where to find the information online and work that. We educate through what's called unschooling in the UK, which is effectively nothing to do with school and curriculum. It's whatever they show a passion in, facilitate it.
Beautiful.
She is an artist and has only ever cared about art.
Yeah.
So she's got more sketchbooks than she could ever need. So she's always got fresh. She's got the best pencils that she needs. But she's also got a laptop with a drawing pad. She's got two separate drawing pads, a big one that she can use at grandma's, the van one, which is smaller. So it's the size of a standard tablet, but it plugs into the laptop and it's like a second screen with the stylus. And she's a magician on there. To see her work, because it's all she does. She looks like a machine working. She has one hand on the keyboard doing shortcuts and undos and zooming. And this hand's over here, and she's just like, I don't think you could get a robot to do it as fast as she works. And it's just madness what's going on there. I can't wrap my head around it. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. No, I think that is something that's wrong about the society because like the creative people are like suppressed.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get along with the rest of the kids and whatever, then you fall behind, which is absolutely not the case because there's so many creative people in the world like Ella, and there's no room for them in the society.
No, it doesn't work. The creative people are the thinkers.
Yeah.
And thinkers will eventually think and realize that those in charge or in control is like, hang on, what are you up to? They don't want thinkers. No. They don't want thinkers. It was Rothschild, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who said, I mean, he created the educational system the way it is, and he said, I don't want a nation of thinkers.
Yeah.
I want people who can run the machines without being intelligent enough to ask why they're running the machines. Yeah. So just says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do your kids also ever struggle with this lifestyle?
No.
No.
Simple answer, no.
Beautiful.
No. Certainly not John.
No.
He thrives, absolutely thrives. I'd say, okay, the only time there might be struggle, but it's not struggle. It's a slight down from the highs. It's all highs.
Love it.
And every now and then, maybe if we've done a few weeks where there hasn't been any other teenagers for him to hang around with, then he starts to need other kids to play. He wants to go crazy. He wants to go wild and go swimming with people. Yeah. Whereas sometimes I'm too busy. I'm working. I can't always jump in the water with him. So I spend most of my time when we're not with other people trying to seek out other people. It's not, we don't live this lifestyle to go and look at cities or see a particular mountain or I've got to see that country. It's not about that. It's about, first of all, that big yellow ball in the sky, which makes every day wonderful. But I am always seeking out other families with teenagers, so he's got someone to kick about with. Yeah. So this, up until yesterday, we just parted ways with a family who we've been with for the last entire month.
Wow.
And there was another family as well. They left a couple of days ago. So there's one family had 2 young daughters, and the other family had 2 young boys. John is the oldest out of them all. John and Ella, of course, wouldn't have been twins. And all the rest were 1 or 2 years younger. And they've just been this posse of 6 people for the last month.
Wow.
Running wild in Spain, parking up places like this where they're just in the sea all day. Yeah. Gets his surfboard down and plays. They all play on that, floating around, and they go climbing up the cliffs. They just run wild, feral little kids as they should be. And he's had his fill, you know. It's great. Now, we're not with any more families for the time being. So he just gets to just relax a little bit and look at some other options. Like he gets back involved with his cooking again, and he's focused on that. And he really enjoyed cooking for us last night because he hasn't actually cooked a lot this month because he's too busy out having fun. Yeah. So I took over that role again a little bit. Yeah. Or to be fair, because I'm busy working, you just get egg sandwiches. We'll just keep life simple sometimes. But no, he cooked us some wonderful Thai food last night. It was very nice to have him back. It really, really was. But that basically is what it's about for us, is finding other people. Yeah. And also for myself, some company, of course, like meeting yourself. Yeah. It's just nice to meet like-minded people who live on the road and communicate, and especially meeting other van lifers who do YouTube and content creation as well. It's like, wow, we've got so much in common.
It's so rare.
It is.
So rare.
It is. So that's always good. That's always good. You've got plenty to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. And is there anything that people really underestimate about being a single dad on the road?
As a parent on your own, as a single parent anyway, life's hard. Yeah. It's a constant fight to keep food on the table. That's normal. But it's the same as anyone living van life away from society. It's just the numbers are different. Yeah. So back in the world, I was working really hard, all month to pay for this house and the bills and all that money. And I figured out, wow, if I don't have to pay for all that, that's 3 weeks of that month I don't even have to work. Yeah. So it's gone from making thousands and thousands every month, but life costing thousands and thousands every month, to making a few hundred every month, but life only costing a few hundred every month. So it's just wrapping your head around that difference. Yeah. Whereas I didn't used to think about spending a few £100s on a new tool or something I needed. Whereas now you're thinking more about 20 euros and thinking, I'll just go easy in the supermarket. I'll ease up there a little bit, and working constantly to try and find ways to bring money in, which is the same as in the real world, if you like. If you want to call that the real world, I think this is the real world. This is how people are meant to live. Absolutely. However, we don't want too many people to live like this, because we do need some people working in the supermarkets. And do you know what? Life's so much easier like this. Back in the UK, when I was living that life, my phone, because it's hooked up to your bank accounts and stuff, it's constantly pinging. Yeah. You wake up to a message: 200's gone out of your account today for the water bill. 300's gone out for that debt you had. Ping, and there's every day, ping, ping, ping. And maybe because I was doing the sort of work I did, once a month I'd get a ping because a client's paid in a big amount of money. So that's a nice day when that comes in. But then it's just every day, ping, ping. Yeah. It's all going out, going out, going out. That doesn't happen anymore. Nothing.
Life is much simpler.
Life is simple, and that's what it's about. Yeah. And I just feel so much more at peace mentally. It's just, I work all the time out here, and I love it.
Perfect.
I love my work. This is my office. Yeah. I sit there in the van at my chair, at the laptop, and I look out at this. And if, as with any work, I need a breather, I want a cup of tea, I want a 15-minute break, I close the lid, I put my kettle on, and I walk out here in my bare feet onto the sand.
Right on
And
the
I just stand with a cup of tea, looking out to sea, going, ah. And then at my own pace, I can go back to work.
breathing in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some days I wake up and I've got the energy and I can work all day.
Yeah.
Other days I think I should work today, but it's just not feeling right. I'm not in the place mentally, so I don't.
Yeah.
And then it might get to 7 o'clock in the evening and I suddenly get an urge and I'll work then till midnight.
Yeah.
It's my choice.
Yeah.
It's my business.
You're the boss.
I'm the boss. I choose to work very hard because I want to have a better life for the kids. It's the best life they can have. But
I agree.
it'd be nice to be able to pay for John to have more cooking lessons.
Yeah.
Or I saw a guy down the beach there doing the kite surfing thing, and I'd like to be able to pay for him to have a go at that, you know? Whereas right now, I can't quite afford that, but it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Just like everything I've done. I built business in Thailand,
Yeah.
very successful.
Crazy.
I built business in the UK, very successful. I am at the very, very early stages of building a new empire.
Yeah. Amazing.
And it's going to grow and it's going to be great. And we're
Amazing.
going to live the high life.
Can you tell a little more about the empire that you're currently building?
The empire I'm creating is built all around this lifestyle
Yeah.
and social media
Yeah.
initially. And as much as I don't get on with modern society and I would like to go and live off the land, off grid and detach completely and not even have a phone, I also want to live this life where we can travel and explore
Yeah.
and never know what's around the corner.
Love it.
So I'm not living outside of society. I'm living right on the edge of it and I'm tipping my toe in and using it. So I do have a phone and I have YouTube and I've got Instagram and I've got these things, and that is how I'm trying to make a living. So the main income at the moment is YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel which is getting quite successful and doing very well. So every Saturday I've got to get a video out there, and that's just telling the story of our lives.
Yeah.
It's some days it's just vlogging. We're going here, here's the beach, look at what we're doing, John's cooking. Other days I might talk about the van, setups on the van, and like I say, in the past we did the van build. I've also been working recently on my Instagram. I want that to get some traction. I've also got John involved. John's doing his Instagram now as well. I want to get some traction with that because it will funnel things towards YouTube and also be an income stream itself in the future. I have Patreon where people pay the monthly subscription and they get background content. They get to see the outtakes from my YouTube videos and they get more personal one-on-one interaction with me. So we've got a handful of Patreons. Yeah. So I know that's a monthly income that's always there. We've got the same with YouTube members. People pay a monthly subscription to get background benefits again. We've also got the buyers of coffee where people can make one-time donations also through PayPal, which is quite irregular. And it's just that's the difference. Now my phone occasionally goes ping, someone just bought you a coffee and there's €5 or someone bought you 3 coffees, €15. It's like, hey, this is lovely.
And it's worth so much more than 15 euros.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And with what we're making from what we're doing at the moment, we are surviving in this lifestyle. Yeah. It pays for the diesel, it pays for the food, and we get to exist like this, and life couldn't be better. However, I am now working with a new business partner on a project, and we're writing a course, which is going to be, it's not finalized yet. It's still very early in the planning stages, but we're getting well underway with it. It's going to be a course for anyone who wants to exit the system and live this lifestyle. How do you do that? Yeah. Well, we're going to be able to teach you that.
Amazing.
Nothing's finalized, whether it's going to be in different modules and sections, whether there'll be a van building section. Some people might not want to build a van. They might just buy one. There'll be dealing with it mentally. It's the mindset more than anything, I think, is training your brain to realize that none of that you were taught matters. None of it is true. None of it's real. You know, you can come away and live a free life like this and no one will bother you. No. They're not going to come and grab you and put you in prison and say, you can't do that. They try to make the diesel very expensive to make life easy, make life difficult. They try to put the insurance of vans up to make it harder. They make it difficult for me being British with the Brexit. I've got my 90 days, but I'm battling with that at the moment. The kids have French passports. I'm trying to get French residence permit so I can stay in Europe longer. They don't make it easy, but who cares? I haven't got much else going on. It's fine. I don't mind sending a few letters to deal with this bureaucracy every now and then. Life's good.
In exchange, you live this lifestyle.
In exchange,
Just sitting here on the beach.
I do this.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
It's crazy.
This is it. This is work to us, huh? It's wonderful.
And the course you're building, is it specifically catered towards people who want to live van life, or is it also for backpackers or digital nomads? Or
I think that's where we're a bit vague on things at the moment. We're going to home in on van life initially. We're going to home in on British people for van life initially. Yeah. It's open to everyone, but we're going to, because it's based on my knowledge of everything I've done, and I've put so much time and research and effort into getting here. Yeah. Whereas for other people, they could come and do the course and have it all just there in a few videos. They can watch a few videos and have the knowledge that took me months to scrape together. So initially, that's roughly our target, but it's going to grow. Yeah. The idea is I want this thing to grow and grow. It will be initially about mindset, about getting away. Then there will be van building for those who want to do it. If they're not interested in that, sure. I mean, I've backpacked all over the world. Yeah. I can talk about that. We can talk about the legalities of vans. I've just had this van upplated because in England it was overweight for its weight category. So the process of doing things like that. And we'll have satellite courses that are built into it. And if you have that course, you might get this one free. Yeah, plus the main course itself will always be in development and it will always be growing. Anyone who's paid for it and joined the immediate course will always have full access, lifetime access to all these extra bits that start getting added. And it will just grow in time. Yeah. And eventually we'll branch out and encompass people in the States who want to do it. You know, anyone in Europe who wants to get away from the grind, the 9 to 5, the life they were told they were meant to live. And they don't want to anymore.
Because there's so much more to life.
There is so much more to life. And it's short. It's finite.
It is
it's so short. I am 50 now. I turned 50 this year. No, last year. I turned 50 last year. And age also helps make you realize these things more. Yeah. After losing all the people I've lost, plus getting older, you haven't got a minute to waste. No. Get out. Get out of that system. Get out of what you're doing. If you're even slightly thinking this doesn't feel right, I want to go and live this better life, do it now. Yeah. Start making your steps. All it takes is steps in the right direction. Too many people think, oh, I could never do that. And that is the mindset that most people have. And that's what I want to break. Yeah. I want people to come to me and I will change your mind and make you realize you can. I can do it on my own. Yeah. Old guy on my own with 2 kids and a cat.
And a cat. Oh, we forgot about the cat.
2 kids and a cat in a van. I built that van. I'm building a new business. We travel all over Europe. Me, 2 kids and a cat. And it's easy now. It was a battle to get here, but anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Amazing. And what's your bigger goal for your YouTube channel?
Bigger goal for the YouTube channel. I just want it to keep growing. Because as any good YouTuber knows, you can't make your full income from YouTube. It doesn't pay. I've had quite a few sponsors giving us free gifts, free electric bikes and scooters and gadgets for the van. And that's all well and good. But what you need is paid sponsors. So I guess I just want it to keep growing because the bigger it gets, then the more sponsors are going to approach us and actually offer cash for advertising their products rather than just giving you a free trinket. So that enriches our lives a little bit, allows John to go kite surfing if he wants, you know, well, me as well. I might be 50, but I'm still going out there doing that, I tell you. I just want it to grow because I enjoy doing it and they're my community now, these people. And it will grow and it will also steer people towards the course and other businesses that I'm running in the future. It will just all be one big package. Yeah. But one thing I found with YouTube, I had a discussion with some friends recently and they said, what will you do then? That age-old question. If you suddenly won the lottery, well, first of all, I'd have to play it and don't do that. But if you suddenly came into some money, a big inheritance landed on your lap and you're set, you don't need to do it anymore, would you still do the YouTube? I'm like, yeah, I would. I have 16,000 people now following me. And a core few thousand of those people have been with me since the beginning. Wow. And I know these people now. Yeah. They're in the comments and they're with us in the van. They travel with us. Everywhere we go, they're there. And I know they've told me in the comments, some of them aspire to do what we're doing and they keep asking questions and they want to come and live this life. Others know that they're never going to do it, but they love the idea of it. And they get in on a Saturday, they make their food, get their cup of tea, and they get sat on the sofa and they can't wait to watch our videos because they get the escapism through us.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let these people down. They've become my friends now.
Yeah.
I might not do it every week like I do now because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But if I suddenly had enough money that I didn't have to work anymore, I would still put out YouTube videos, maybe once a month or something like that, and stay connected to the tribe, the people, my people who've become, my, what's the word? My congregation. That's the wrong word, isn't it? My community, that's the word. They've become my community. Yeah. Some are like-minded travelers already. Others just sit on the sofa and like to watch and imagine doing it.
Have you met many subscribers yet?
Yeah, met quite a few subscribers. Yeah. I get the piss taken out of me by my friends.
Yeah.
When I'm with the friends I've been with for the last month, if we're stood chatting outside the van and people come up and go, "Oh, hi, I've seen your channel," and they're like, "Ah, bloody superstar." But no, it does happen quite a lot. But I mean, a lot of van people watch van life YouTube. Yeah. So when we're camped up in places where there's all these other vans, we're going to bump into someone. Yeah, for sure.
And you're running around vlogging, of course. So.
Of course, they see the camera come out. Yeah. And I've got the sign on the side of the van there.
Of course.
I've had people sometimes, not far from here actually, another park up in La Manga. We were just parking up and I was just maneuvering the van into the place. And the guys next to me, they were Belgian, and he'd seen the YouTube thing on the side. By the time I'd parked, opened my door, he slid his side door open and he was watching my YouTube. And he's like, and I'm like, oh my God, right. He's like, I just subscribed. It's like, oh, thank you very much. It's worth putting the sign on the van.
I should do that.
Yeah. Definitely. It's surprising how many people come from that.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And it's a very subtle badge as well, because on the old van I did a really big one and the kids were like, "No, Dad."
Privacy.
Yeah, that's just too much. It's ridiculous. That's just very subtle. People see it, they know it's YouTube, and I get a lot of people. Yeah.
Can you share us a little more about like the creation process of your videos?
I take a lot from what I learned out in Thailand. I think I have a very unique way of making videos because my background in Thailand was filming every single day to produce a 20-minute video every single day. So it wasn't where you can go and film for a few days or to a week, your travels, and then spend another week leisurely editing away and finding the right music. It was factory. Boom, boom, boom. It was factory. Bang, 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 bang. Shot. Every shot you take gets used. You don't waste any footage. And then the edit is very quick and clean on the timeline because nothing needs cutting, nothing needs to be lost. So a lot of that has spilt over into the way I work. But sometimes, such as a video I'm working on right now, because of the environment we were filming in, it was the three families wandering around a town watching a procession, Easter procession here in Spain. I just filmed like crazy. I didn't know what I was meant to be getting, so I just filmed loads. Therefore, I'm gonna have to work hard on the edit. That's okay, I accept it. But they vary. I tend to start a video, just pick up the camera and just start talking to it and say, "Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. We're still here in La Manga, but today we're gonna be moving on. We're heading up towards Shepherd's Rest. We're heading up there soon." And that's basically how I'm gonna start my next video, really. And then I will get some shots of the van leaving, we'll get shots of the traveling up there, and then I'll talk to the camera again periodically. Sometimes I talk to the camera thoughtfully about how I'm feeling about life, what's been going on. Sometimes it's just information. Sometimes we'll pull over at the services. People are interested in living in a van, so we'll pull over at the services and show them how we empty the water tanks, how we fill the water tanks, how we get rid of the toilet waste and stuff like that, because people are interested. They don't know. So that can fill up a video, information like that. A recent one I made was just prepping the van ready for its next big journey. So it was cleaning out the wastewater pipes, cleaning my fans inside. I had to do some stuff with the electrical system. The water pump needed a bit of an adjustment. And it was just routine maintenance. And I just filmed an entire video just all around the van. I have my demographic, my audience on YouTube are kind of predominantly men in the UK from the age of about 35 to 65. So there's a lot of people who joined during the van build days. They're interested in the technical side of the van, but also men who also like the idea of escaping their 9 to 5 and taking their families and living in the sun. So both of which work, the travel vlog and the techie videos about the van. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it really. We get the drone up whenever we can and it's not too windy, because drone shots, you know, you got to have a drone shot.
You got to have a drone
Beautiful
shot.
music and a drone shot
Always works.
establishes everything. I try to, because I learned how to do storytelling with videos back in the old days, I try to tell a story. I don't just turn the camera on and talk to it and then do that again and again. It's, I know my friends get sick of me when we're out for walks, but I've got to run off ahead of them down the beach, put the camera down and say, wait, run back over. Then we all just walk past the camera. Stop, everyone, stop. Turn the camera around. Then we've all got to do the walking away shot. And then that comes up clean in the edit. It looks great with music, but your friends are like, oh.
I know the feeling.
And I've got to run backwards and forwards 3 times. And to be honest, it's good exercise for me at this age. So.
And do your kids help in the creation process?
I'd like to say yes, but I'm going to say no. No, they're really good, bless them. They are really good. They don't help in the creation process like filming and editing. Okay. That's all me. Yeah. We've discussed it in the past, getting John involved in doing like the rough edits maybe, and I do the fine tuning. We're working on his Instagram at the moment, so we'll leave him with that. Yeah. But they are very good with the camera. They understand. Yeah. Because the public, the people out there, the subscribers, are always asking to see more of the kids. So I tell the kids, look, guys, they want to see you. You want to live like this? We've got to make money. They want to see you. So you have to be in the videos. And they're brilliant. They know when I turn the camera to them, John acts like a clown. Turn the camera to Ella, she always just waves and smiles. And she's very good. And sometimes she can surprise me, actually, and just suddenly start talking and coming out with an amazing bit of information that ties into the video. Yeah, but they just basically know to smile and wave. And they're getting better and better at it with time, which I think will help them in the future. Because we're in a world now where social media, whether you like it or not,
it's there.
It's there. And if they're living this sort of life, I mean, to promote Ella's books, we're going to promote it all through social media.
Absolutely.
If people don't know about them, they're not going to buy them. Whereas if we announce it on a YouTube channel with 16,000 followers, she's going to get some sales. John, we're getting him into the Instagram thing. So the experience of me constantly putting a camera in their face, he's so comfortable in front of a camera already. He knows what to do.
It's such a good skill. It
is. It is. And I think now, with the world that's coming with AI, there's different routes you can go. So many jobs are going to be lost to AI. So many. I mean, I know as an editor, it's going to be quite redundant at some point. There's always going to be the fine tuning that only a person can do, but a lot of stuff, graphic design, so much stuff, it's all going to be gone. Trades, doing joinery, plumbing, that sort of thing, hands-on house building, the AI can't take that away. Do you really want to do that? Maybe. Some people are passionate. I enjoyed it for a few years. It's fine. Or I really firmly believe that the vlogging, social media style is going to only grow. Because I think AI is going to influence it right now as it's doing. And you've got AI influencers.
Models.
AI models. And it's going to be very blurred for a time. I think it's going to be very, very blurred. You can't even tell what's real and what's not. But people already, you can see people don't want AI. They want real. So they're very quickly going AI slop, AI slop. It's going to get to the point where you can't tell the difference, but it will become obvious that someone living this sort of life, AI can't reproduce this. And people want the real. And they will follow people on social medias living an alternative lifestyle that AI can't give them. And I firmly believe that it might drop a little bit as AI takes over a lot of things, but I think the social media and people vlogging their reality will survive, and I think it will actually thrive. People will want the real again, and they're already showing that.
That's beautiful. All right, and then I want to end this conversation with one last question that I ask everybody, and it's a very easy one. But it is like, if anybody is listening or watching right now and they are thinking about moving into a van or doing van life, what would you advise them?
Do it now, or at least start the process now. If you're thinking about it, then you need to start taking the steps. because it might be something that you can't actually accomplish for a few more years. And if you don't start taking these baby steps now, you will never get there. It's one of the best lessons I've always given to my kids. Is there's a very good image of two guys stood at the bottom of the ladders. I don't know if you've seen that one. And there's one ladder where the first step, the first run is just out of reach. It's just too high. And that guy's never going to get there. The guy next to him has got a ladder with thousands of little steps. But he's just got to start on the first one, and he's already ahead of that guy. And then your next step, your next step, your next step. Before you know it, you've reached the top. You're up there. And you don't even have to be at the top. Halfway up is still a far better place than you were at the bottom.
Absolutely.
The other guy who thinks it's too far, I can't do that, he will be there forever. He'll be down at the bottom forever. Start your steps now.
Yeah.
But not too many of you, because then we wouldn't have this beach to ourselves, would we?
That's perfect advice. All right, thank you, Adrian, so much for this conversation.
Pleasure,
if people
man.
want to find you, where can they find you?
We are Life Uncharted on YouTube, and it's Our Life Uncharted on Instagram, just purely because I couldn't get the Life Uncharted name.
That's it.
That's it, easy as
All
that.
right.
And the course will be coming out later this year. And if anyone's interested, get in touch with me, because we are collecting emails now for people who would be interested in the pre-sale and getting discounted on the initial release of the course.
Perfect. DM this legend. Thank you so much, man.
Hey,
right.
cool, man. Appreciate it. Thank you
Cool.
very much.
Alrighty. That was fire.